Everyone out there in YouTube land, Dan here from GeekCast Radio doing another Marvel Fresh Start review as I go through many of the Marvel Fresh Start titles. And this time I'm actually going to be continuing my look at Avengers. I reviewed Avengers 1 and 2. Now I'm going to keep and look at Avengers number 3. And much of this is focused on Loki, as we learned at the end of issue number 2 that Loki was a mysterious force behind much of what's going on, or was he? And that's a question that's still not fully answered. Does he just know more? Where his motivation's coming from exactly? And going into this issue, one small hesitation I had was, is this going to become that one-note evil Loki character that we seen back in the way back when? To me, what makes Loki an interesting character is everything about him is ambiguous. His motivations, his desires, they can change on a whim. Is he good? Is he evil? He really doesn't fit into any specific category. So I didn't want to see him backtrack and become that type of character again. And knowing this is Jason Aaron, I didn't fully expect that to happen. He's been writing Loki for 18 years now. I trust him when it comes to this character. And based upon this issue, yes, there's much more going on than maybe issue 2 led us to believe. We also do see, some of the other events occurring with some of the other characters like She-Hulk and Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. And one of my one issues with these first 3 issues is that why I think all the things involving Iron Man and Thor, Loki, even Carol Danvers tend to feel very connected. The other pieces with Black Panther and Doctor Strange, who weren't even in issue number 2, and Ghost Rider and She-Hulk feel a little more tacked on. What tends to be the mantra of the Avengers is when they form, it's a very organic occurrence. Like they all come together because they all had to happen to be at the same place at the same time, and they form naturally. Where this doesn't feel as natural. Yeah, they're all kind of dealing with the same type of characters or the same evil forces with these gigantic bugs and huge celestials. But their storylines seem to be just kind of in the background. And I was hoping this would kind of bring them a little bit more together. But by the end of this, we also don't have the Avengers fully assembled yet. They're still kind of assembling. And maybe Jason Aaron's playing the long game, but it felt like the natural right spot for the team to finally come together and for that, the rug to be, kind of taken under you. I'm not sure. It seemed a little like a challenge choice I didn't fully understand. We'll see moving forward. And also, Black Panther and Doctor Strange know much more about what's going on than some of the other characters, and I'm not truly understanding why exactly they aren't really sharing that information, why they're keeping it close to the vest like they are. It doesn't seem like a character like Black Panther would withhold something that could give him a strategic advantage with other characters. Maybe they're scared what that knowledge could do. That could perhaps be the reasoning. What I really took away from this, though, one of the biggest strengths of this is Jason Aaron's voice that's developing for that of Captain America. The one character I didn't know if would work with Jason Aaron's style of writing was Captain America. He can be a difficult character to write, even for the best writers. He can come off as too one-note, too generic. And here, I think he is getting into a lot of the key pieces that make Captain America who Captain America is. And one, of course, is his courage. But Captain America sometimes does make mistakes. He, in a way, may sacrifice himself too soon in order to do what he thinks. But Captain America is also the type of character that knows that he's never going to be able to go toe to toe with someone like Loki. He's never going to be able to fight Loki. His powers aren't matching his, but he use his strategic advantage or try to find something that could help bring Loki down. And one of those pieces also get into his character as a person, which is his willingness to allow people to redeem themselves. Even starting way back when we saw characters like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, who are villains, come on to the Avengers, he tends to have this belief that people should be able to redeem themselves in certain ways. And even with this conversation with Loki, trying to get at that, knowing that he's bested, knowing he's not going to be able to punch his way out of this, trying to find some common ground with him, even if it's for strategic reasons or if it's legitimately because he believes those things. And with Captain America, it tends to be usually both of those. So I did really like that conversation. It does get cut off a little bit too soon for me, but then we do find out that a little bit more about what's causing Loki to bring himself to the situation. The other big piece I wasn't the hugest fan of is that now that things start settling down by the end of this issue, a lot of past problems begin to come on the surface once again. Things I was hoping we can kind of forget ever happened in a way, or push to the side. I get why you have to address it, as Carol Danvers and Iron Man are face to face, and the last time that happened, Tony Stark was put into a coma. But if you want to make Carol Danvers, the character that she definitely can be, bringing up things that happened in Civil War II, I think is not your best option. I just feel like that event did a lot of bad things for her character. She did a lot of things that were nonsensical and really hurt her as a character, made her into the villain. Kind of what happened to Tony Stark with Civil War, and almost worse, even worse than that in a way, because I feel like she hasn't been able to be redeemed like Tony Stark was able to after Civil War in some instances. So, again, I mean, obviously with the Avengers, you're going to have strife, you're going to have bickering. That's part of the thing. They're not to the level of something like the Fantastic Four, but it's certainly there. And it just felt to me like the natural point for this team to kind of join and come together, but that didn't necessarily happen. And I don't know, maybe they're playing the long game. They don't want to, they want to let that moment simmer and get to the right moment. But it seemed like, considering that the Avengers are a team that tend to form because of organic reasons, right? Where different characters from different backgrounds, for some reason, end up showing up at the same time to stop the same force, and eventually they just feel like it was karma, or it was fate that brought them together. So then they are once again forming the Avengers. Maybe things are broken to the point so much that it can't happen the way it used to. We have to allow it to develop even further. We can't just utilize the old ways again, which I don't know if that's the reasoning behind it. Then again, it's like, if this is meant to be a fresh start, does that in fact kind of go against that? It's a question we'll see. Obviously you want to have drama in some fashion. And there's also some pieces here that I always found it strange that Doctor Strange and Black Panther, they have a lot of information that the others don't. And it seems like they would want to possibly share that. I know, perhaps they were afraid what that information could do, but knowing Black Panther, it seems like he'd want any tactical advantage he could get. And that didn't seem like a smart move. Maybe they just think this is the lull and they'll bring it up later. But again, there was a choice that I thought wasn't as strong as what was some of the other pieces. Ed McGuinness art, to me, I think he is doing some of the best stuff he's done for Marvel in some time. I know some people don't like that really cartoony style, but when you have things like gigantic, huge creatures that are larger than life, having a more realistic style, I think, wouldn't work as well. Having a style like McGuinness, I think, fits the tone much more for a story like this. So, and I think the coloring has been fantastic. It's really, I think, brought new life to his work as well. He's taking a break, I think, for the next 2 issues, and new writers coming in, or artists coming in, and then I think he comes back again. So I think, I don't think it's David Marquez, because I know Marquez is coming on issue number 7, I think, but ultimately, I'm curious to see how much the tone of the book changes with the new artist. Does it kind of stay similar? We'll see. Overall, I'm liking where the Avengers is going. It's not, by far, it's not Jason Aaron's best stuff yet. There are pieces here that I'm excited about. I think mostly what I enjoy the most is that he seems to be establishing a lot of the voices for these characters. Still unsure about some of the ones that haven't had as much time, like Carol Danvers. He's barely had much to do. Doctor Strange, obviously, he's written before. Black Panther, too, he hasn't really had an opportunity to do much within this series quite yet. So we'll see. But when it comes to just his ability to utilize character drama, even if it's drama I wasn't the hugest fan of, Jason Aaron certainly does it. And I do like that the characters are on the forefront, even if these gigantic, huge celestial beings are there. It's really what's in between these characters that matters. This entire thing that's been kind of driving this forward is this reluctance for the Avengers to get back together. Even in the first issue, when they're bringing it up, they're like, should we be the Avengers again? Does the world need the Avengers again? If it does, should it be these people? And it seems that reluctance is still there. And what will eventually lead that to happening, and if it's not giant celestials falling from the sky, makes me curious what exactly Jason Aaron has in store. We'll see. So if you've been reading Avengers, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. You can let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that crazy stuff. But that's it for me. Remember that comics are for everyone. The key is finding the right one. Until next time, thanks for watching.